artist because at the time I was studying martial arts and I got into the study of NLP and hypnosis because largely I wanted to learn how to get girls and I wanted to get better at martial arts. I came across some books on mental training for the martial arts. And I remember watching a video of Richard Bandler talking about how you could just induce trance in people without an induction. Like people are always in trance, and that was the big thing that NLP was was big on. Was you don't need 20 minutes of progressive relaxation or even a 4-minute element induction to get somebody into a profound trance state because people experience deep level trance phenomena all the time. And he said one little phrase that opened everything for me. And this is what it was: it's the same nervous system doing it. That was the phrase that changed everything. And here's how I want, and again, some of the moment I say that, you've heard it before. Some of you get it instantly. In case it's not landing, let's make it even more fundamental because it plays into everything that we're going to train on today. And that is this: whether you're a ballet dancer, an aspiring pickup artist, a hypnotherapist, a life coach, a doctor, a gymnast, a ballet dancer, um, whether you're 80 years old knitting or 10 years old knitting, whether you're any form of human endeavor that you can even begin to contemplate is governed and mediated and run by and through your autonomic nervous system. There is nothing you do, there is nothing you experience, there is no thought you think that does not have the influence of that most primal, deep information processing system around. Okay? Now, we have the unconscious mind, we have the autonomic nervous system. I'm going to make two distinctions for you guys in this training. You have capital A, ANS, autonomic nervous system, and lowercase a, ANS. When I talk about the nervous system as a whole, I'm not just talking about the physical meat. I'm talking about the vibrational fields around you and the extensions of that physical nervous system that interact with the energetic and vibrational fields, the quantum, for lack of a better word. I don't like to use woo terms in manifestation because they're not really useful most of the time. We're going to talk about how we look at different things and how we use those fields in a more strategic way. So Delilah says, your profound respect for yourself is contagious. I'm not sure if I've just been insulted. Embrace the woo. Well, I try to make the woo, self, mind, body, spirit, right? I try to embrace the woo from a more strategic perspective, right? And I'll give you a real quick example. Most people have heard of it. How many people have heard of this thing called the aura? Just type in the chat, right? Okay. So most of us, when we think about the aura, we think about this energetic cloud that just kind of hangs out around us. And some systems have layers to it and stuff like that. If you look at the heart math stuff, you'll see these little toroid diagrams and stuff like that. And that's more true than not. But the problem with those diagrams is that they're not really useful. In those diagrams, basically what you've got floating around you is an energetic mood ring, which means you've got this energetic field around you. And basically all it does is change colors depending on what mood you're in. That is not strategically useful, right? However, if we make some assumptions, and these assumptions bear themselves out in practice, how many people here have ever heard of a technique called the magic frame? Anybody? Okay, Alan's the magic frame. So if you may not know the term, but if you've ever said point to where you feel it, reach out and touch it, how many of you have ever done that? Okay. All right. What you've done when you do this technique, point to where you feel it, reach out and touch it, is you've taken your interoceptive nervous system, the part of you that monitors all the sensations going on inside of your body, and you've connected it to your proprioceptive or exteroceptive nervous system, the part of you that monitors what's going on outside of your body. Now, there's a constant interchange of data flowing between the outside and the inside. I call that the holonomic nervous system or the holographic nervous system, right? You don't end at this physical body, even on a neurological level, like on a meat suit level, you don't end. Your proprioceptive awareness extends out. How many of you have ever driven a car? Just type it in the chat. How many of you have ever driven a car? Okay, good. If you haven't, I'll come up with a different metaphor. How many of you have ever been driving down the highway, right? And you're driving and you can feel, you can't see them, but you can feel that somebody is in the blind spot of your car. You look in the mirror, you don't see it. You look in the rear view, you don't see it, but you can feel them there, right? You just know it. And then a few seconds later, zoom, there they go. What's that about? And how does that relate to manifestation and what you're talking about? What happens is when your proprioceptive awareness monitors everything in the space around you. Okay. And what happens is when you get in your car, your nervous system no longer counts you and the car as a separate object. It expands that field of awareness outside of you to include the car, which is why you can feel what's going on around the car. That expansion of your proprioceptive awareness is the same thing as when somebody says, I can make my aura bigger or smaller. The difference is when someone says they can make their aura bigger or smaller, they can't really do much with that, right? But when your awareness shifts, you actually have access to more information. But that information is a two-way street. Information is going out, information's coming in. That is the signal, that's the signal messenger that we use to impregnate the universe. We send out a vibrational pulse that has a specific signature in it. Okay. And this has been verified by places like heartmath.org. They've taken a dog and his boy, right? Strapped them to EEGs, let them go out in the yard and play. And within 15 minutes, the dog's heartbeat and the boy's heartbeat, they synchronize. They do the same thing with people and horses. Hook them up to EEGs, let them go interact. Within 15 minutes, their heartbeats synchronize, and you get into rapport with one another. Rapport is the secret to the universe. I've said this for better part of 30 years to anyone who will listen. Rapport is the secret to the universe. The same way you get rapport with another human being is the same way you get rapport with something higher or transpersonal to yourself. Okay, the same principles apply. And that brings us back to the law of attraction. The law of attraction tells us that you will attract things into your life that are in harmony with your dominant thoughts. So Barack is saying rapport equals resonance. Yes. Rapport is a form of entrainment and that leads to a connection where information is passed back and forth, and two things are becoming closer and closer to becoming one thing. That is the goal of all spiritual practices. Everything about spiritual practice is designed to take you from being this little version of yourself, connecting you to the larger version of yourself, which connects to a larger version of itself until you're one with the divine again. It's the same idea. It's the same principle, right? The problem is that there's stuff that gets in the way. But whether you're engaging in deep, advanced spiritual practices, or you want to manifest a new car, or a new job, or a new partner, it's the same nervous system doing it. You understand that? It's the same. Therefore, understanding how the nervous system does these things, the dynamics of the physical suit gives us the ability to influence everything from the most intimate one-on-one situation to the most transpersonal cosmic level. And I really believe that, right? You don't have to believe anything I'm telling you. You guys know that. I tell you that right up front. I don't expect you to believe everything I'm telling you, right? Most of the technologies that we work on don't require you to believe them. You just got to do them. And that's what we've been focusing on. So it's the same nervous system doing it. Point to where you feel it, reach out and touch it, closing this loop on action, which was, again, what we started with. Two big pieces that you need if you want change, if you want to manifest. You must have a sense of identity that supports what you want. As one of my teachers used to say, you can be or do or have anything you want as long as you're willing to become the person who can have it. How many of you are willing to become the person that can have what you want? Type it in the chat. It's not a trick question. Okay. Perfect. Because the next piece is the big one. You must take action in the physical world. Right? Now, when you're just starting out at the what I would call the drone level, most human beings are moving through the world and they're basically flesh robots. They're not in charge of their neurology. They spend most of their time inside their head, disconnected from the world, or locked in a screen thinking that is their world. They're not in their body, they're not aware of what's going on, and they have little to no ability to affect it. You guys are going to be different if you follow the trajectories that I'm sharing with you. You're going to gain the ability to control your minds and bodies in ways that most people think of as science fiction, but it's kind of just another Tuesday for those of you who've been around Planet David, right? So there's two reasons that people don't take action. They either have mindset issues or they have skill set issues, right? So what's the difference? Before we get into that, how many of you if I could show you a path of action, are willing to take it? Just because if you're not, then this is just interesting information. It's not going to change your life. It's just going to give you a dopamine hit, and that'll be it. So if you're ready to take action, then if you follow what I say and you do the processes and you engage in the drills, you're going to have an experience. That experience is going to open abilities for you. And if you keep on that trajectory, your life will change. Okay, perfect. All right. So thank you for raising your hand, Danny, and for Barack as well. Excellent. All right. So what was I talking about? Action. There's two reasons that people do not act. There's either a mindset issue. What does that mean? They have a fear, they have a sense of a lack of deservingness, they have a self-sabotage program running, um, they have a negative voice in their head that says they don't deserve it, right? Mindset. You know, you can diagnose, and I hate to use that word on a law of attraction webinar. You can diagnose mindset issues very, very simply. Do you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing? Do you know exactly where you're supposed to be doing it? Do you know exactly who you're supposed to be doing it with? Do you have all the resources, physical resources, that you need to do it? If you answer yes to the majority of those questions and you're still not doing it, you have a mindset issue. It's very simple. Okay. Now, if you are brimming with enthusiasm, you have so much energy, so much passion, and you would start right now if you knew where to go, but you don't know what to do or who to do it with or where to do it or how to do it, but you're ready. Now you have a skill set issue. In most cases, you don't know what it is you don't know. Now, these two types of problems are not mutually exclusive. You got all kinds of yeses, and I can see some of your teachings are what pastors do at church. Yep. Lack feeling also. You rock, David. Oh, thank you guys. You guys, YouTube land, I love you. I love y'all. All right. So are you guys with me so far? That without identity work and without the ability, the willingness and the ability to take action, you aren't going to manifest. You'll be amazed It's actually pretty disturbing, actually. You'd be amazed how many people will pick up a law of attraction book, they'll do their vision board, or they'll do their affirmations, and then they'll just sit by the phone or by the computer waiting for an email to show up and never do anything in the physical world. I've literally been on message boards in the past where I've listened to people complaining that they've been sitting by their phone for days and weeks and nothing has happened. Right? Right. So if we've got, so let's circle back now and talk about what I opened with, which was um, your dominant thoughts are not what you're thinking. Your dominant thoughts are what you're feeling, right? So let me jump to my PowerPoint here really quickly. Not actually not a PowerPoint. Uh, I'm just trying to find my belief chart, which I'm not sure. I wasn't going to use it today, which is why it's not already prepped. Uh, maybe I'll just draw it for you. It might be faster. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay. So in NLP, and I use NLP a lot because in spite of all the flack they get a lot of things right. You have what we call logical. Oh, that's not going to work. I'm not known for my artwork, guys. You have something called logical levels of belief. Now, in logical levels of belief, can you guys see this okay? Or do I need to make it bigger? In logical levels of belief, your beliefs are organized in a hierarchical structure. The highest level of belief that the human being possesses is known as the spiritual or the transpersonal level. These kind of questions are almost always they always you can always tell when someone's on a spiritual dealing with a spiritual belief because they'll say things like, I feel like it's my purpose, or I wish I knew what my mission here was. I know I'm here to do something special. I know I'm here for a reason. I just wish I knew what that was. That is a belief at what we call the spiritual level. Now, you'll also experience people who have transformation at the spiritual level, and you often see these in the forms of extreme religious conversions. A lot of times when somebody breaks the law and gets sent to prison, a lot of times what happens they find religion. Right now, a lot of them are full of shit because that's how you get paroled or whatever. But a lot of them actually do. A significant number of them actually do have this flip that happens. If this were a brainwashing class, we would call it paradoxical inhibition, but that's almost always a result of trauma, where somebody has a personality that's working one way, and through some extreme event, their personality flips. All right. Well, we're not going to spend a lot of time on this spiritual level, but I want you guys to understand this hierarchy because there's a bunch of principles that are underlying this. So underneath the spiritual level is what we call the identity level. And the identity level is the level that really controls um, your reality, right? The identity level defines for yourself what's right and proper. And it's supported by the level right below that, which is values. And values can be one of the major things that accelerate manifestation or block it. If you want something badly, but you have a value that says that's not a good thing to have or it's not important enough, you'll tend to not manifest it, right? Below that, you have capabilities, you have behaviors, and you have environment. Each of these is a different level of belief that you have. And most people who study NLP have been exposed to this kind of a chart before, but what they don't realize is that there's actually two layers to this. And this is where the work we're going to do together today is really, really important. At the end of the day, you have two kinds of beliefs. You have beliefs you know about and beliefs you don't know about. And this is where the problem is, because if the law of attraction is all about manifesting what's in harmony with your dominant thoughts, you don't know what your dominant thoughts really are. So you get something different than what you intend. This is why the vast majority of people with mindset issues fail to manifest, because they're conscious of one level of thought, but that's not what's driving the bus. That's not what's driving the bus. So are you guys are you guys with me so far? Okay. So what are your if that's true, then what are our dominant thoughts? The dominant thoughts are the beliefs and the memories that are on an endless loop running constantly below the threshold of conscious awareness. The dominant thoughts are the feelings that you have all the time, but they're always in the background, which brings us to, okay, if that's true, then what do we do about that? How do we even begin to find the beliefs we don't even know we have? There's really only one way to do that I found that works consistently. Are you guys ready for this? Type it in the chat. Okay. You must provoke them to find them. Let me say that two more times. If you want to find the beliefs you don't know you have, you must provoke them in order to find them. Right? So, how do we do that? You have to become aware of conflicting sensations. So, for example, let's go back to our magic. We started with our magic frame concept, yes? Think of something that you want to manifest on a scale of 0 to 10. Make it whatever works for you. Okay. When you have it, just type have it in the chat. Okay. Excellent. I want you to close your eyes, and if you're driving, don't do this. I should probably, I should probably give you that caveat, right? If you're driving, don't close your eyes, please. Right. By the way, this particular training will involve altered states of consciousness. So if you are operating machinery or anything that requires your full and undivided attention, please do not participate beyond a certain level with this webinar. Catch the replay where you can do it in safety. Manifestations kind of moot if you die before you get to it. So please just be safe with this stuff. Okay. So I want you to close your eyes and think about the thing you really, really want. And what it would be like to have it. As you become aware of the thing you really, really want, I want you to notice the good feelings in your body of having it. And once you have that, I want you to stop paying attention to the good feelings and notice any other feelings that might not be as positive hovering in the background. It's almost always very faint, very subtle, like an icky, naggy feeling. Sometimes it's a voice. How many of you noticed an icky, naggy feeling? Okay. Congratulations. You just found the belief you didn't know you had. That icky, naggy feeling that's in the background, believe it or not, from my experience clinically, is actually the stronger feeling. It's actually the stronger feeling. Now, the reason it feels weak is not because it's weak. It's because it's deep inside the levels of the autonomic system. It's in the tissue and the fascia and the organs. And it's so strong and it's so pervasive that when it's triggered, it rises like a bubble from the bottom of a lake, and it breaks through to closer and closer levels of the conscious mind. Now, you would not have paid attention to that had I not suggested that you become aware of it. Those sensations were always there. But like most people, you're trained to ignore the negative feelings, focus only on the positive feelings. But in order to ignore something, you must first know it's there, which means there's a part of you that knows that energy is there and it's suppressing it, which means it's actually adding more energy to the problem to keep it suppressed while you consciously focus on something else. What that does in your neurology is it creates a split. One part's doing one thing, one part's doing another, and they're combating each other, right? And that's where you don't get the things you manifest because the signal you're sending out to the universe is conflicted. The behaviors that you generate and you engage in are conflicted. Your perceptions of the world are conflicted, right? How many people here have ever heard of a gentleman? He passed away a couple years back. His name was Dr. Paul Ekman. Anybody remember him? Okay. There's a great book he wrote many years ago. It was called Emotions Revealed. In that book, he talked about a phenomena called the emotional refractory period. How many people here have ever heard me use that term, emotional refractory period? And it's okay if you haven't, because a lot of you are new. The emotional refractory period was a term I used many, many years ago. Um, I don't use it quite as much anymore, but you've all probably, how many people here have ever had an argument with another human being? Anybody? All right. How many have ever noticed that sometimes, maybe more often than not, when you go through this argument process with somebody, he said, she said, she said, she said, he said, blah, 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 after, however long the argument takes, right? You eventually settle the argument. But for some strange, mysterious, annoying reason, anything you say triggers them again. You ever notice that? Okay. WTF? What's behind that? Welcome to the wonderful world of the emotional refractory period, right? The emotional refractory period is a mechanism within the human nervous system that controls your perceptions based on body feelings, right? For those of you who are studying with Chase and the neuroscience world or the neural manifestation world, how many people have ever heard of the reticular activating system, the RAS, or to be more specific, the reticular formation system? The emotional refractory period and the reticular activating system are the same thing. They're the same thing. When you experience a change in your body feelings, it goes to that part of your brain that controls how you perceive the world around you. And it changes the prioritization of what information in your environment you pay attention to. So the metaphor that the teaching story I used to use many years ago was, let's say you go into a room and there are 10 things that you can pay attention to. 10. 8 are positive. 3 or 2 are negative. If you walk into that room in a good mood, guess which information you focus on first. Guess which information your neurology prioritizes over everything else in the room. Positive, yes, 100%. Flip the script. You go into that room in a shitty mood. 8 positive, 2 negative. What do you think you gravitate to first? Exactly. It's extraordinarily intuitive that way. Ladies and gentlemen, that phenomena I call in our systems functional consciousness. How many people here have ever heard the idea of consciousness is somehow connected to manifesting? Anybody ever hear that or see allusions to that? Change your consciousness, poverty consciousness to abundance consciousness, things of that nature. And you're like, how? What the hell does consciousness even mean? Right? So I call what I'm teaching you guys functional consciousness because it's something we can do something about concretely. Functional consciousness is the combination of your perceptions of the world around you as determined by the body feelings that you have, the context that you're in, and the information that you have at the time. So once again, functional consciousness is the phenomena of the perceptions that you make and the meanings you assign to them based on the body feelings that you have, the context that you're in, and the knowledge base that you have. So when I go into a room and I'm feeling good and the context is I'm there to get an award and I'm a lucky person and everything's good, I'm going to go into that room and I'm going to see unicorns and rainbows first. If I go into that room thinking that somebody else got the prize, I'm getting cheated, I'm getting slighted, I'm going to see the world, I'm going to see the exact same world very differently. And that functional consciousness will change as context, environment, and body feelings change. And this is, again, why some of your manifestation works really, really well and why some of it doesn't. It's not about what you want, it's about the state you're in when you're trying to get it. Does that make sense? If you want to maximize your manifestation abilities, you must understand how to control your physical, emotional state and remove the patterns that are holding you back. They're two separate but connected processes. Is functional consciousness the same as situational awareness? Very close. Very close. You could say they're almost the same, but a lot of times both are mediated by state, by body feeling. So yes, I would say they're probably closer together. But in situational awareness, you're more externally focused, and so you're very aware of all the dynamics of what's going on. There's not some, the more I think about it, the more I think they're very close. No, I understand what situational. I'm a self-defense instructor. I understand what situational awareness is. I think they're close enough to be useful. I think so. Yeah. The problem with situational awareness is it doesn't take into account your past and the current body feelings as a way of understanding the meanings you assign to things. So if you got situational awareness, you see a lot of things, but a lot of times where the consciousness aspect comes in will be the meanings you assign to things, and that will a lot of times be based on your interoceptive feedback, right? Or the level of physical vitality that you have, right? You ever notice that when you're tired, everything almost always skews negative, right? This is one of the reasons why sleep and blood sugar are super, super important, right? Again, I don't want to, I could spend hours and hours and hours and hours talking about this, but we wouldn't get anything done. But I needed to give you guys this idea that your dominant thoughts are not the ones you're conscious of. Your dominant thoughts are the body feelings and the hidden patterns and memories that are on an endless loop below the threshold of conscious awareness. And the only way to get to those is to provoke them, which is what brings us to manifestation. So Lottie says, feeling shit is difficult to clean energetically. Eh, not so much. It's actually pretty straightforward once you understand what you're doing, right? What happens a lot of times is when it comes to cleaning these things up, is people try to do it themselves, on themselves, by themselves, for themselves. And there's only a certain level of depth or information you can access when you're flying solo, right? And that's a different class for a different day. But so, how many of you, when you thought of something you wanted to manifest, felt that icky, naggy feeling? Just type it in the chat. Okay. For those of you who didn't, you can follow along with this anyway. But we're going to do it. We're going to do a clearing session right now, and we're going to show you how to extract that. I felt ambivalence. Excellent. Okay. So, I have to. I want to do this technique right now, but I need to give you guys a little bit more information that some of you might already have. Is that okay? Okay. So one of the things that we have to talk about, and I mentioned this, um, is that we need to be able to talk to the part of us that keeps everything running. And so we have to establish a communication bridge and a way to interpret the information we're getting from our unconscious mind to our conscious mind. It's the difference between intention and interpretation that causes the vast majority of miscommunication and conflicts in our relationships, right? In NLP, we would say the meaning of any interaction is equal to the response it generates. So if I say, for example, if I'm talking to Mia and I say, Mia, you look absolutely amazing today, right? And she looks at me and says, how dare you insult me like that, you pig? I obviously paid a compliment. She obviously thought I insulted her. Who's right? From a neurolinguistic perspective, Mia is. Why? Because the meaning of any communication is equivalent to the response it generates. Your job as an operator, someone who's learning how the mind and body works, is to understand how to bridge that gap, how to make sure what you're intending to communicate is what the other person is interpreting, and being able to change what you do. That means you have to take actions. Change what you do to get that response to be what you want it to be. Manifestation is no different. Manifestation is no different. If you keep demanding the universe give you something, but you're not willing to change who you are, what you do, and how you do it to get there, guess who's holding up the process? Okay, that's the big one. That was the thing I was alluding to when we talked about action. A lot of people are demanding that the world change, but they don't want to change to be the person who can have that. The fastest way to change the world, honestly, is to change you, because you are literally the fulcrum in the center of your reality. And when you effectively change yourself properly, everything in your world changes too. Right? It may not be pleasant, it may not be fast, it may not be slow. It could be sudden. Lots of things happen when you start playing with these kinds of faculties. Okay. Usually my webinars go at least 2 hours, sometimes as long as 3. I don't do short webinars, but there will be a replay. So if you need to do it, and if you need to come back, you're more than welcome to do that. All right. So think of that thing you want to manifest. Find the place where that icky, naggy feeling that was holding you back was. Close your eyes, find the feeling. Now, if there was a picture floating in the space around you, that represented that icky, naggy feeling, a picture you could reach out and touch, where would you reach out to touch it? Go ahead and do that. Right? Now, take your hands, trace the outline of that picture with both of your hands so you know how big it is. Excellent. Now let's make sure we got the right one. Grab the edges of it, make the picture bigger. Notice what happens to the feeling in your body. They get stronger, do they get weaker? Now make the picture smaller, back to its original size. Pull it closer to your body. Does the picture get stronger or weaker? Now put it back. Now take your imagination and your hands. Draw a thick black frame around that picture. Now, most of you are probably too young to remember when televisions had real dials and knobs and switches instead of touch screens and remote controls. I want you to feel along the base of that frame. You're going to notice some dials and knobs and switches like on an old style television. I want you to find the knob that controls the brightness or the contrast. Turn that knob all the way to the right until the image whites out completely. Notice how that makes you feel. Now turn the knob all the way to the left until the image blacks out completely. Notice how that makes you feel. Decide for yourself which one you like better. Once you have that, I want you to take the index finger of your dominant hand, and in glowing golden letters across that screen, there was some messages and some lessons that this feeling had to teach you, positive or negative. I want you to go ahead and write those lessons across that blanked out screen so you can keep all the lessons and let everything else go. Now the screen will scroll like a tablet scrolls, so you have an infinite, unlimited writing space. Some people draw pictures. Some people draw squiggles. Some people every now and again have a rage attack. They write F-U, F-U, F-U across the screen. Some people write with both hands simultaneously, like they're writing Chinese or Hebrew at the same time. Some people have no conscious idea what those messages and lessons are, and that's okay too. Because the part of you that created those feelings, the part of you that's connected to that picture, knows exactly what those lessons and messages are. So give control of that stylus to that part and let it write on the screen all the messages, all the lessons connected to that body feeling, so you can keep all those lessons and let everything else go. The screen will scroll like a tablet scroll, so you have an infinite, unlimited writing space. If feelings and emotions come up, put them on the screen too. As they come up, they come out. As you feel it, you reveal it. As you reveal it, you heal it. Solved, dissolved, and resolved from the body. Solved, dissolved, and resolved from the mind for all the right reasons. And when you know you've got that, go ahead and reach up, shrink that frame down to the size of a postage stamp or even smaller. Notice how the feelings in your body shift and change as your unconscious mind, your autonomic nervous system grabs that frame, moves it up over the top of your head, floats it all the way back behind the horizon. See it, feel it sinking down below the horizon until it disappears completely. And when you know it's completely gone, you all know the sound a hammer makes when you're banging on a nail. Feel it nailed back there for all eternity, impossible to come back. When you know it's nailed back there for all eternity, impossible to come back, test it. Try to bring those old feelings back. Try to turn those new feelings off. Notice what happens instead. Take all the time you need in the next few moments to feel complete. And when you're satisfied, go ahead and stop testing, scan your body, and tell me what's changed in you. Just type it in the chat. Shirley says, I feel lighter. Katya, you don't make the lessons disappear, you refile them. Jessica says, it feels like I'm moving in a forward direction instead of being caught on something. Excellent. Paul says, I feel lighter and free. Shakur says, felt a heat sensation on the back. I felt that sensation on the upper spine. The heat dissipated. I feel colder, but in a pleasant way. Yeah, a lot of times there's like a menthol kind of feeling to it, almost like an icy hot type of a feeling. So Carol says, feels excited, feel lighter, more clear, relaxed breathing. This is important because what happens many times is we create something that we want, but it conflicts with a belief or an experience that we've had, and the two get welded together. This technique takes those two pieces that have been welded together. Savona says, I feel like I'm processing. Yes, you are. Because what did we do? We took this idea of an aura, turned it into a set of filing cabinets. We found the file that needed changing. We took the file out. We edited the file. We took it and we moved it to a different location. The moment you move those files in your energy field, the projections of your nervous system to a different location, your brain automatically recodes them as something different. And that's what we did. I could spend hours explaining the neuroscience and the NLP and the hypnosis and the energetics behind it. You don't need any of that for this technique to work for you, right? So Letitia says, I feel lighter. Danny says, more clear, relaxed breathing. Savona says, I feel like I'm processing. Kendra says, many of the beliefs were old and just had not been cleaned out yet. Feels more clear. Amy says, feels like there's room. Perfect. This is called the magic frame, and it's specifically designed to target things that your nervous system is holding you back from doing. It's designed to take the thing that you want and the thing that's holding you back and disconnect them, reprocess the experience, and move it to a different location. Okay. It's a very, very powerful technique. Okay. And this is something we should be doing every day. We should literally be making a list of stuff we want to clear. So here's how we would use this. Okay. First thing we do is we get out a sheet of paper. We get out a sheet of paper and we write down everything that we want to manifest. Just brain dump it. Okay. The moment you brain dump it, now you stop and you look at it and you imagine having it. You pay attention to the good feelings, but even more importantly now, you pay attention to the not so good feelings that are always in the background, always icky, always nagging, right? And you draw a little stick figure and you point to where that is, and you use this technique to remove them. Okay? You always clean before you prime. Does that make sense? So we create the list of the things we want to manifest in order to provoke the things that would get in the way of the manifestation. Okay? It's a different approach, but it clears, like some of you are saying, I feel clear. It clears the path. It clears the neurological signal. It clears the internal neural circuits that would have stopped you from taking the actions. Does that make sense? Okay, excellent. Very good. So that's phase one if you want to manifest better. Is it powerful? Yes or yes? So once again, everything starts with what? What do I want? Boom. Brain dump it. What's in my way? Boom, 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 boom. Right? Frame it. The next piece is, what do I want to, how do I want to program me? Right? I've gotten the blocks out of the way that I know of, right? I know what I want. Now, what techniques can I use to really powerfully send that out, impact my own neurology, but also project and send that out into the world around me? How do I make use of this perceptual, this functional consciousness, this reticular activating system, and how do I connect to something bigger than myself, all synergistically? And it's done through the same mechanisms that we're working with. So in this class, we're going to talk about some more advanced state control exercises, and we're going to talk about one of the most powerful manifestation tools on the planet. And I promised you that I would take you as far as I can in the time that we had, and I would point you in the direction to go to get the rest of it. So in order to keep that promise, I would like to ask your permission to share with you. What I'm sharing with you are pieces of a much more comprehensive law of attraction system. And I would like to share with you, if I might, exactly what that whole system involves and how to get access to it. Would that be okay? Perfect. Thank you. And everything I'm teaching you is part of what I'm sharing with what I'm going to be talking about. So again, if you got to decide what you want, but for right now, with your permission, I'd like to share with you the Hidden Laws of Attraction Ultimate Manifestation Mastery Home Study Course. Now, this is a program that I've spent a lot of years working on and refining and honing, and it's absolutely one of the most consistent and powerful manifestation methodologies that exist. I've manifested things that are patently impossible, including 2 doctorates, believe it or not, utilizing the techniques in this course. I've manifested seven-figure businesses and healings and things. It's just an amazing course. But the Hidden Laws of Attraction course is not just about money, which is what a lot of people think about. It's about helping you take your life to the next level. It's about creating opportunities and attracting people and the right people. It's about helping other people to heal and to become successful and to be more confident and more powerful in your universe. It's about becoming more charming and charismatic and irresistible along the way. Because ironically, one of the things that happens when you start doing a lot of these exercises is you just become a whole lot more fun to be around. You become a lot more playful. You become a lot more charismatic. And everywhere you go, people tend to just feel good and they just give you stuff, which I think is actually a pretty nice little side effect or a byproduct of this training, right? So everything I put together for you is good until August 27th, 2026 at 11:59 p.m. tonight. And you're going to learn, as in the core training, you're going to learn how to unlock the power of your subconscious mind to quickly manifest just about anything you desire. You're going to find and remove blocks to your health, wealth, and happiness you didn't even know you had. We already started on that today. You're going to become magnetic to money. You're going to learn how to program yourself with the right behaviors and beliefs that cause money to just flow to you. And there's some basic key understandings when it comes to becoming magnetic to money that you have to understand. And a lot of people, they have trouble with it, not because it's hard, but because they've just never been taught to think this way, right? You're going to learn how to influence people both in person and remotely. You're going to find and remove hidden negativity. You're going to clear up issues that just don't seem to go away. You're going to learn one of the most powerful information or affirmation methods for programming your mind to attract the things you want and change what you deserve. This is probably one of the single most powerful self-programming tools I've ever come across. And I'm amazed that actually no one thought of it sooner, especially people in the NLP world. But it is what it is. We're going to show you how to delete the negativity and vibrational imprints from your past. Many times the memories and the thoughts that are holding us back are actually like little tiny subroutines or AIs running underneath the surface. And they have a vibrational energy to them that we can go in and we can start to change. And when we change them, they start working for us instead of against us. I'm going to teach you how to install traits, qualities, and characteristics of naturally lucky people. And that was something I was alluding to at the beginning of this class when I was talking about perceptual consciousness versus situational awareness. Naturally lucky people have a consciousness where that the first thing is they identify as being lucky. Because they identify as being lucky, their perceptual consciousness is arranged in such a way that their autonomic nervous system automatically calls their attention to opportunities in their environment that people who do not have that identity do not see. And this is why perceptual consciousness as a manifestation tool is probably one of the most important things you'll learn how to do. Right? We're going to teach you the the image cycling technology, which we're actually going to teach you the basics of that today in part 3 of today's webinar, which in my opinion is in fact the most powerful engine of personal transformation and manifestation I have ever discovered. And I discovered it as a byproduct of the teachings of the late great Bill Bankston, who created a program called the Bankston Energy Healing Method. And you can read about his work in The Energy Cure and Hands-On Healing. Highly recommend his work, and so much more. But there's a whole lot more that we're going to give you. Right? Total value on this is $1,997. But if you grab this course today, we're going to include a whole bunch of extra benefits and special bonuses that will take these abilities that we've just talked about and expand them even more powerfully and give you even more power and control over your life and the things you want to manifest. So if you act now, you'll also get these special bonuses. The first one is our Vibrational Influence United Kingdom Special Edition. This includes usually our vibrational influence trainings are 3-day trainings. This was a special 5-day event that we held in the United Kingdom, and it covered everything from remote influence to energy healing to sound work to the Kuji In and Ketsu In systems, which are mudra manifestation systems for learning how to develop your psychic abilities, how to have very powerful states, how to develop your intuition, uh, precognition abilities, and and manifestation abilities. We're going to teach you how to unlock and control or unlock your potential, control your mind and body in different ways, harness the forces of the energy bodies to do the things you want them to do, to protect yourself from and others, to heal yourself and others, to clear your chakras and master your own energy fields. You can manifest the things you want much faster. You'll see that very, very quickly that your overall level of vitality and consciousness just kind of expands as a byproduct of the Vibrational Influence United Kingdom training. This was a fun training. I really enjoyed this. Um, you'll learn how to do things in a very functional, very testable way. So this is a $2,497 value. We're going to give this to you absolutely free. Total value on this is $4,494 if you combine the core package plus this. We're also going to include our vibrational healing program. Now, this is where we take the same basic vibrational influence curriculum, but now it's specifically targeted to healing modalities. We're going to teach you 3 or 4 different ways to do remote healing. We're going to teach you about Reiki. We're going to teach you about pranic, the concepts of Reiki, pranic healing, the DNA theta systems, how Qigong healing works versus how Hermetic healing works. You're going to learn and gain an overview of 5 or 6 different models of energy healing and where each one is really, really strong, where each one's really, really weak, and how to know which one to do when, how to do good energetic hygiene, which is how to do energy healings both in person and remotely without picking up all the other people's stuff and having it affect your life. We're going to teach you how to find and remove hidden energy and negativity blockages, how to clear up issues that just don't seem to go away, new energy control methods for programming your mind even more powerfully. You get maximum results in minimum time. And again, in this particular course, we also review the image cycling technology for use in healing. So we're actually going to teach you how Bill Bankston used it. This is not a certification in the Bankston Energy Healing System. There are no certifications in the Bankston Energy Healing System that I'm aware of. And if there are, I'm not one of the people qualified to give you one. So you should probably, if you want to get certified in Bankston, which by the way, I highly recommend, it has the most documented cases of curing animals deliberately injected with cancer in double-blind animal-controlled studies than any other energy healing system. It's it's got a huge amount of rigorous scientific work behind it. So for those of you who want something that is provable, reliable, verifiable, this might be a good system for you to follow up on. So the total value on this program is $2,497. You add that to what I've already talked about, and we've got a total combined benefit of $6,991.00. We're also going to include, and this is probably one of the most relevant courses to what we've talked about today so far, and this is Secrets of Personality Transformation. This is a copy of our Identity by Design silo, which I didn't get a chance to show you the diagram, but it has 7 unique stages. Each stage targets a different aspect or building block of personality and identity. So for those of you who are having trouble becoming the person who deserves to have something, this is the program that allows you to flip the switch on that allows you to easily, naturally, consistently, and automatically move yourself through the process of change so that you become the person who can have the things you really want to have and who can take the actions that you want them to take. It'll start by teaching you how to reprogram your subconscious mind pretty much at will, to remove blocks and limiting beliefs, to remove the negativity you didn't even know you had, to clear up issues that just don't seem to go away, to change that crappy voice inside your head to one that becomes your best friend, your greatest cheerleader, your guide and mentor through this video game we call life. I'm amazed very many times when we run people through the internal dialogue changing exercise, the voice inside your head, how many people have massive emotional transformations as a byproduct of that process. Right? It's truly amazing to watch that happen. And you'll get to experience it firsthand. We're going to teach you how to resolve negativity from your past and from other people's past.
We'll talk about generational trauma. We'll talk about imprints. We'll talk about different ways that you can inherit other people's crap without even realizing it, right? We'll teach you how to install the traits, qualities, and characteristics of people you genuinely admire. So you remember I said one of the traits that a naturally lucky person has is they identify as being lucky. Well, there's 4 or 5 other traits that if you just learn to amplify and install them, you would become a progressively more lucky person as well, because your functional consciousness would shift to one of someone who's naturally lucky, and your nervous system would screen the environment accordingly. It would automatically pull more opportunities into your awareness that you could take advantage of. So, once again, understanding the things I'm talking about in this webinar are developed through the systems in the programs that we're teaching you. Right? We're giving you stuff that gives you a real big bang for your buck right now. But if you want the full power, I highly recommend you grab as much of this as you can, as soon as you can, and get started on it. So the total combined value for this is $24.97. Total value, if you added everything together, would be $9,488. But we're not done. We're also going to include the Hidden Laws of Attraction Soulmate Secrets Masterclass. Now, the Soulmate Secrets Masterclass, we've only taught it in person twice, and it was such a popular class. Um, we've been so busy with other courses, we haven't had a chance to really do this live. So I may do this again in the near future, just as another live event for people. But this is about finding your soulmate. It's about understanding what a soulmate is and what a soulmate isn't. It's about understanding how to become the person who can attract your ideal match first by becoming and designing your own ideal life. We have a whole different system that allows you to become irresistibly attractive to the kind of person you want to attract, but at the same time helps you to kind of realize that where you're looking for these people many times is not in the places that you normally frequent. So, what do you get to learn in this? You'll learn the surprising ways that chemistry affects your perceptual consciousness and how it controls your opinions of other people. You'll learn how to overcome the soulmate myth, how to eliminate negative relationship programming from your childhood, how to prepare yourself for positive communication, how to teach how to move effectively from the infatuation stage to the love stage, and how to navigate that in a way that doesn't have you constantly bouncing from one hormone rush to the other, right? How to determine what you actually need in a relationship, how to identify obstacles and then conquer them, strategies to keeping the spark alive in your relationships. You'll discover why you're attracted to certain people. You'll identify family patterns which contribute to your relationships. You'll discover the qualities you want most in a life partner, and you'll learn the basic communication patterns and ways to demonstrate your love in a way that the person can most receive it, and a whole lot more. So this is a $1,997 value. We're going to give this to you absolutely free. Because once again, when people come to the law of attraction and manifestation, sometimes they want money, sometimes they want opportunities, sometimes they just want a partner that makes them feel complete, that makes them feel whole, which has its own issues in and of itself. We're going to teach you how to navigate those in this course. Okay. Total value on this now is $11,485. So this is what we got. This is today's package for you guys. It's the Hidden Laws of Attraction Ultimate Manifestation Mastery Home Study Course, valued at $1,997. You're going to get the Vibrational Influence course, $2,497 value. You're going to get Vibrational Healing, $2,497. The Secrets of Personality Transformation Home Study Course, and we're going to add this extra super bonus, the Hidden Laws of Attraction Soulmate Secrets Masterclass. This is what I would call the inner game of finding your perfect mate. All right. Total value on this is $11,485. And today I want you to have the best deal humanly possible. So we're not going to make you pay $11,485. We're not going to make you pay $6,991 or $44.94 or any of that stuff. Would $24.97 be a great price for this? Think about it for a moment. We're not even going to do that. For those of you who are ready to take the next step, to take the actions you talked about, you get the entire thing for one low installment of just $997. All you got to do is click the links in your chat below. Go to nlppower.com/HLOA. That's www.nlppower.com/HLOA. It'll be appearing in your chat shortly. You can do that in one installment of just $9.97, or you can break it up into three easy installments of just $3.97 each, one installment a month for 3 months, and you get access to your courses as soon as we can get you. So go ahead and click that link. Everything in the course has a 60-day money back guarantee. If by the end of 59 days or so, you're not seeing consistent improvements in every aspect of your life that you want, just give us a call, shoot us an email, and we'll give you a full refund. No questions. Well, we might ask a few questions because we want to make sure that there's nothing that we can't help you with. But if there's nothing we can help you with, you're doing everything right and it's still not working for you, we'll give you your money back. No fuss, no muss. To get yours now, go to www.nlppower.com/HLOA. That's nlppower.com/HLOA. Click those links right now. Operators are standing by, right? So for those of you who like what you saw, I like to reward people who take fast, decisive action. I've learned a long time ago that the action that gets rewarded gets repeated. The action that gets repeated gets reinforced. And so I've always been a big fan of rewarding people who act fast, who make decisive, fast actions. And I want to give you that right now. For those of you who click this link before I log off today, August 27th, 2026, I'm going to include the following three special fast action bonuses. First one is a 3-month trial membership to the NLP Power Practice Mastermind Mentoring Group. This is the longest running NLP hypnosis and related studies group in the world. We've been running it every single month, month after month, since October 28th. I'm sorry, October 10th, 2010. And we're going on, it's 2026 now. So you're looking at a good 16-ish years that we've been running this puppy. I've videotaped every single one of these training sessions, and you will have unlimited access to them for the full 90 days that you're part of the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Group. Now, the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Group is not a certification track. It's a skill building track. You won't get a certificate from the program. What you will get is the ability to roll up your sleeves, do the drills, and actually get the skills you're paying to learn about. There's a difference between learning about something and being able to actually do something. The NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program was designed specifically to get you to the level where you can actually do something competently, confidently, and consistently out in the real world. We get together on the third Saturday of every month from 11 a.m. to about 4 p.m. And I literally make up the lesson plan on the spot based on who's in the room. I'll literally go around the room and say, Savannah, what do you want to learn? Shirley, what do you want to learn? Barak, what do you want to learn? Katya, what do you want to learn? Benzin, what do you want to learn? Yaman, what do you want to learn? Celia, what do you want to learn? Denny, what do you want to learn? Right? Danae, what do you want to learn? Right? And I'll write them on the board. And then I'll step back and I'll look at it and I'll find where they all kind of connect and interact. And for the next 5.5 to 6 hours, depending on how long our session is, I will drill you on those skills until you can do them in your sleep. I will give you feedback on them. I will help you. I will guide you. I will put you in group after group and training and drill after drill until you have the ability to do this at a competent street level street level proficiency. And then you come back the next month and we do it all over again. What do you want to learn today? What do you want to learn? 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 And we wash, rinse, repeat. At the end of 90 days, if you decide you like the people, you like the training, you like what you're getting, you like the person you're becoming, we'll show you how to extend your membership. If at the end of 90 days you got what you came for, you're done, we'll wish you luck and see you on the next event, right? You won't get a certificate. You get something much more valuable, much more important. You get a community that supports you. You get the feedback and the training that you need, and you get to own the skills you paid to learn. Okay. You'll also get an unlimited access to the entire 15-year video archive. I know it says 13 on the video slide. This is an old slide. It's 15 years of unedited videos that have never seen, most of which have never been seen on YouTube. And we have at least almost an equal number of videos hidden from the public as we do to the available to the general public. And it's on everything from manifestation to attraction to therapy to coaching to accelerated learning to people face reading, body language interpretation, dating and attraction techniques, manifestation. If it's in my wheelhouse, energy work of all kinds. If it's in my wheelhouse, it's probably in those mastermind videos. So Lottie's asking, does that mean from the 15th of the month till the 21st range? So usually, yes. Yeah, usually the third Saturday, at least for this month, um, will be the 22nd. Or no, 15th. Actually, the 15th. I just did a mastermind on the 15th. I think I did, if I'm not mistaken. Right. In fact, that was the one I think that I accidentally posted to the general public, and everybody got to participate in that one. Right. So total value on this is $13,082. And attraction bonus number two, or action bonus number two, is attraction mastery. And this is really cool because where Soulmate Secrets was all about figuring out who you want, what you want, how you know you're getting it, the inner game of finding your ideal mate. Attraction mastery is really about the outer game. It's about the tools, the techniques, the influence methodologies, the profiling secrets that allow you to actually attract, connect, and create a relationship with the people that you actually want to create a relationship with. Now, the course itself does not make a distinction between someone who's looking for Mr. and Mrs. Right or Mr. and Mrs. Right now. But we do cover attraction and dating and relating techniques for both men and women. It's taught in a co ed environment so that men and women can learn from each other. So you understand how genders communicate differently than within the same gender. It was always interesting for me when I taught these classes. I would always insist on having men and women in the same attraction class because when one gender would see how their behaviors and their words were being interpreted by the other gender, first of all, it was high comedy for me, but it also allowed both genders to understand each other better, to make the translation. Remember at the beginning of the webinar, I said that there's a difference between the intention behind a communication and the person's interpretation of that communication. That phenomena is there's nowhere where that phenomena is more convoluted and more misunderstood than in the concept of dating, mating, and relating. And if you can truly bridge that gap, you can attract just about anyone you want. You can create powerful relationships with just about anyone you want. And it's a much more thrilling and fulfilling experience for everyone. So to me, Soulmate Secrets and Attraction Mastery are kind of yin and yang of each other. One shows you how to be the person and how to and what you're looking for and can really clarify it for you. And the other one teaches you the exact physical and conversational and relational social skills that you need to actually be attractive to those people, right? Again, a lot of times we see someone that is the perfect fit, and because of context, environment, um, poor relational dynamics, we screw it up because we don't know how to present ourselves in the best light. Right? It's just one of those things. And by the way, I'm going to say something very controversial here. If people say just be yourself, run. Okay? That's not how these things actually play out in the world. The secret is to find out who you really are and then discover if that's the person who you want to spend who you want to be, change that, and then attract the person that complements you, right? There's a lot of things that go into attraction dating that a lot of other gurus and a lot of other idealistic self-help gurus um, try to pull over on you. And I've seen it cause more pain than anything else. So I want to help clarify that. I want to make it easier for you guys and gals to get the relationships that you want. So I think the attraction mastery and so soulmate secrets are a powerful 1-2 combination, and it's your chance to get both of them pretty much for free. So total value on this is $24.97. Total combined value is $15,579. Right. And for those of you who click that link right now, I'm going to give you a free VIP super ticket to our next Renegade Reframing 3-day live virtual intensive. This is an advanced pattern breaking workshop. It's literally the art and science of speed belief change. We're going to walk you through 14 different ways to find and change any limiting belief that you have in seconds. And the best part about this is not only will you learn how to change your own limiting beliefs, you will learn how to change the limiting beliefs of everyone you meet and talk to. You will be able to win any argument or conversation you're in. You'll be able to overcome any excuse that other people give you. Now, that sounds like a lot. It's just the beginning. This is a very, very powerful set of skills, and it's designed to ride right on top of the secrets of personality transformation and the hidden laws of attraction methodologies. So we talked about beliefs are decisions that people make about the way the world is based on the feelings in their body, the context, and the information that they had at the time. With these 14 tools, you can go in and you can completely change all of those building blocks to be exactly what you want them to be and find your own way to get your brain actually cultivating and moving its resources in your favor. It's a really, really powerful technique. It's a lot of fun. We actually include a card game with this, so you can actually play with your friends while learning how to change and overcome limiting beliefs, being faster on your feet, being a better conversationalist, and just getting more yeses in your life, which is, again, what manifestation is really all about, isn't it? So this is limited to the first 11 people to register. It's a $997 value. We're going to give this to you absolutely free if you're one of the next 11 people to click that law of attraction HLOA link and reserve your spot. Total value on this is $16,576. And this is what we got for you. We got the Hidden Laws of Attraction Home Study Course valued at $1,997. You've got the Vibrational Influence UK. Uh, you've got the Secrets of Personality Transformation Home Study Course. You got Vibrational Healing. You got the Hidden Laws of Attraction Soulmate Secrets Masterclass, the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Practice Group, and the Attraction Mastery 4-day intensive video course, and of course that that free 3-day VIP Renegade Reframing virtual training. It's online. You can take it at home in your underwear if you want, but it's a lot of fun. It was actually one of the more fun courses for me because it was a skill set that is very hard for a lot of people to approach. So you can get it all for one low installment of just $997, or if you need to, you can break that up into 3 easy installments of just $397 each. And all you got to do to get yours is click that link right there in the chat, www.nlppower.com/HLOA. That's www.nlppower.com/HLOA. All right. Um, I'll take a few minutes for questions if you guys need to use the restroom or anything like that. Because when we come back after questions, I want to go ahead and teach you the foundations of image cycling technology and some state control work that I think might be absolutely helpful for you. Okay. Go ahead and ask any questions that you might have. So Paul is saying, I didn't get some of the steps for troubleshooting manifestation. What do I want? What's in the way? Okay, so what happens is when you're thinking about what you want, right? Usually what happens is when people try to um, do like visualizations or affirmations or things of that nature, they focus on the movie in their head. And if anything tries to get in the way, like an icky, naggy feeling that we talked about, or a negative picture pops in, we intentionally ignore that picture and focus on just we're forcing our imagination to create. It's how most people do it. But what most people don't realize or understand is that when we go to create something intentionally positive in our imagination and a negative thing pops up, that's the unconscious mind way of saying, hey, if you want to manifest that, you got to clear this, right? That's literally what's happening. You don't know about a pattern or a program below the threshold of conscious awareness that is in your way until you actually provoke it. The fastest way to provoke it is to go after the things you want, right? Go after the things that you want. By provoking it, by going for the things you want, by constantly moving forward in your life, you will become aware of the feelings that want you to stop, that want to distract you, that want to move you in a direction away from the thing you said you want. Those are not, it's not an indication or an indictment that you're less than or that you don't deserve it. It's that your neurology is saying, hey, if you want that, you've got to fix this. It's kind of like the check engine light on your dashboard, right? When you're driving down the road and the check engine light goes on, you don't rush to the garage to get the light fixed. You go to the light goes on, you go to the garage, they hook it up to a machine, they find out what the light is telling you needs to be fixed, and then you fix it. That's how manifestation works. So Mega Bunny Rabbits is asking, what do you do in hypnotherapy if someone gives you a safe place and then later on in the session When you try to use it, the safe place gets corrupted. Create a new one. That's it. Okay. You can create a new one. Usually your safe place doesn't get corrupted, um, but all you do is you just go back to what we call the somatic search engine concept, which is if you ask your higher mind, if your higher mind could send you a feeling, a frequency, a vibration, a color that would completely dissolve that icky, naggy feeling and give you what you most need and want and desire instead, what color or colors would it send you? Right? And then usually the first thing that pops into your head will be the right color. You breathe that color and the stuff goes away. So Nick is asking, how long is this link good for? And do the videos have a lot of dialogue in them as I'm totally blind and would like to find an email address that I could write to ask questions before I buy the program? Absolutely. You can actually call Mia or me at 858-282-4663. I would recommend emailing Mia just because sometimes it takes me a while to get back to you on the phone. But absolutely, I talk a lot, Nick. So I don't think you'll have a problem following my words. But if there's anything special that you need that we can provide, um, I'm open to the idea of helping you with that. Right. So we'll help give you a little bit more coaching along the way if that's something you want to do. But yeah, reach out to Mia at Mia at nlppower.com, or you can give us a call at 858-282-4663, and we're happy to answer any questions that you might have. Let's see here. Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and jump out of this. So for this next drill, we're gonna do state control first, and then we're gonna look at we're gonna start on image cycling 101. Okay. Let me just put this over here. All right. So this is the important thing. So we spent the first part of today's webinar writing down what we wanted, right? And then what did we do? We looked at what we wanted. We found the icky feeling that went with it. We used our magic frame technique. Sorry, let me put this down a little bit. We used our magic frame technique to go in and clear it out. That's the first thing we want to do whenever we're going to begin a round of manifestation training for practice. We always want to brain dump what we want. We want to clear out the blockages. Okay? Brain dump what we want, clear out the blockages. Then we want to get into something else. We want to access our state control. One of the problems that people have when they're trying to manifest something is they're usually doing how many people have ever done affirmations? Just show, so that's me in the chat. Okay. Now, whenever I ask this question, half the people are honest with me and the other half lie. Okay. How many of you, when you go to do your affirmations, are in a crappy mood when you do them? You wait until you're in a crappy mood to do your affirmations because you want to change your state. True or not true? Right? Now, please don't take this the wrong way, but that is a colossal waste of time. Okay? And the reason for that is because the message that you send out to the universe isn't the words. The message you send out to the universe is not the words of the affirmation you're using. The message you're sending out to the universe, the message that controls everything, are the feelings in your body. Now, Savona had some of my advanced classes, so she went right to vibration. So, how do vibration and feeling matter? Feeling in the body is equivalent to a frequency. And it's the sum total of the feelings in your body that equal your complete vibrational signature. Right? Think of all these different vibrational frequencies all put in a big pot.
and they're all mixed together, and the sum total of them is what you're emanating out to the universe. The more coherent that signal becomes, the more clean your manifestations become. Okay? But it's not the words that matter nearly as much as the body feeling it generates, which is why for most of you, doing affirmations in a negative state is actually manifesting negative states for a good chunk of it. Why? Because most of us do affirmations to change our state. We don't realize that's what we're doing, but the vast majority of repetitions that we make when we're doing affirmations is just to change our state. But what do you think might happen if we took 5 to 10 minutes, put ourselves in the most positive, energetic, grateful, magnetic state imaginable, and then did affirmations? Do you think there might be a difference? Yes or no? Yes or yes, as T. Harv Eker would say. And here we are. Okay. If you're going to do affirmations, be in a positive state first and then layer your suggestions on top of that. Don't be in a negative state and do repetition after repetition after repetition after repetition after repetition to change your state. They need to be two discrete phases in your practice. Okay. So I want to give you a quick drill that you can use to get into a state that will lead to greater degrees of manifestation. Now, the neuroscience behind this, by the way, how many people here have ever wanted something like a skill set really badly and took it really seriously? Okay. Here's the secret. The neuroscience goes like this. If there's a skill that you want to acquire, let's say this is a nerve cell. This is another nerve cell. There's a space between those nerve cells called a synapse. In order for your brain to learn a new skill, it has to create connections between nerves. It has to form new cortical pathways. The amount of repetitions your nervous system has to do, if you're serious about something, to bond those two nerves together is about 10 to 12,000 repetitions. Now think about that applied to affirmations. If you want to rewire your brain and you're serious, you've got to do 10 to 12,000 repetitions just to get one nerve cell to connect to another nerve cell. Are you with me so far? Okay. However, again, neuroscience. If you are in a playful, positive, happy state, the amount of repetitions it takes for one nerve cell in your brain to connect to another nerve cell in your brain is 12, as in 1, 2, 12. Do you think that might make a difference? Okay. Seriousness works. Playful works better. Okay. Isn't that what we came here for? To be better, faster, more efficient? So, what your goal now, your mission, Jim, should you decide to accept it, is to intentionally cultivate as much playfulness as humanly possible. Have as much fun as you can before doing your affirmations. Okay? It's a simple thing. State control first, suggestions second. Whether that suggestion is an affirmation, a self suggestion, an audio tape, whatever. If you're an energy worker, you should always, 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 always change your state to a positive, happy, joyful, grateful state, and then do your energy work. Why? Because the energy will take on the characteristics of your emotional state. And if you're in a crappy emotional state, that energy is going to amplify that toxicity. So you need to always engage in state control first. So this is a quick and easy one we're going to do. I did this with my Killer Influence students just the other day. I want you to close your eyes. If you can stand, please stand. Okay. I want you to close your eyes. Think of a time in your life when you were having the most fun ever, most pleasurable experience you can imagine. Now, I'm not the pleasure police. I'm not going to ask you what you were doing, who you were with, how many state lines you crossed, how many laws you broke, what substances were involved. I don't care. I don't care if it's the pleasure of biting into a freshly baked chocolate chip cookie right out of the oven. It's your first romantic experience, the birth of a child, a birthday, the day you got married, the day you got divorced. I don't care. What I do care about is that when you remember that experience, it's the most wonderful, pleasurable, happy feeling ever. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to notice where in your body you feel that. As you point to it, point to where you feel it. I want you to notice that there's a color, maybe even a series of colors connected to those wonderful feelings. I'm curious, I'm wondering what color or colors that might be for you. You don't have to write it in the chat. Just know what those colors are and speak it. Once you have it, imagine a brilliant ball of that energy floating above your head. Notice how the feelings in your body shift and change as with every breath you take and every beat of your heart, that amazing ball of pleasure begins to grow, begins to expand, begins to fill the entire room from floor to ceiling, from wall to wall, and all points in between. Notice how it wraps itself around you like an amazing blanket of pleasure, a cocoon, a shield, a suit of armor, insulating you, protecting you from all threats, all dangers, real or imagined, while at the same time flooding your mind, flooding your body, flooding your spirit with all of this wonderful pleasure. And when you know you've got that, breathe those colors through your entire being. Let it fill you up like water fills up a bottle, like fluid fills up a test tube, like hot air helium fills up a balloon. Anchor it in so fully, so completely, no force in the universe can turn it off or take it away, not even you. When you realize it's true, go ahead and test it. Try to turn it off, try to take it away. Notice what happens instead. When you're satisfied, you can go ahead and stop testing. Scan your body. Notice how good you feel. Type in the chat what you experienced. Nicoletta says joy. Yay. NG says feels lighter. Rainbow fountains. Expansion. Excellent. Excellent. Good, good, good. Now we're in the state to do our affirmation work or our manifestation work. So Shakur says, when I tried to fight the feeling, I can temporarily override it, but as soon as I stop, it feels like the space like a vacuum on a mat. So is that a good thing, Shakur, or not? I'm not sure. Delilah says intensification of that pleasure. Paul says happy floaty feeling. Letitia says feels good, at ease, relaxed, excellent. Bliss, excellent. You think this is a better state to manifest stuff in? Isn't this what you want to manifest more of anyway? Think about it. It's the things we want that lead to the feelings we have, right? So the idea is if you attract what you feel, then this is where you have to start. If you want to attract, if you want to take something seriously, you're going to attract things that make you be serious, right? You become what you attract and you attract what you become. It's that perceptual loop I kept talking about. It's functional consciousness. This is the cycle we're all in. We've got to take control of that cycle. We must put ourselves in the most positive, resourceful, joyful, pleasurable state we can before we do the manifestation techniques. Okay? All right. So before we go into any questions on this state control drill before we move on? All right. You guys are really smart. All right, let me just share this with you again. This is our second call for those of you who have been on the fence. This is the Hidden Laws of Attraction home study course. It's going to come with the Hidden Laws of Attraction core program. It's going to come with the Vibrational Influence United Kingdom special edition, the Vibrational Healing home study course, the Secrets of Personality Transformation,
Soulmate Secrets, the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Practice Trial Group, the Attraction Mastery 4-day video intensive, and of course the VIP super ticket to our next Renegade Reframing Speed Conversational Belief Change virtual boot camp. It's completely online. Link glitches for you. Can I put it up again? Of course. Hopefully that's the right link. Let us know if you're still having trouble, Barack, and we'll make sure that we get you a better link. Right. You can get it all for one low installment of just $9.97, or you can take it 3 easy installments of $3.97 each, and we'll go from there. Pardon me. All right. So for this next piece, how many of you, by a show of me in the chat, took the time to actually write out the things you want to manifest? How many of you did that? Okay, good. All right, so what we're going to start on now is we're going to start through the basics of image cycling technology, because this is something I promised you. Okay, Daily with Jakes is having trouble seeing colors. First thing that pops into your head is always the right color. You don't have to see them. You just have to know that they're there. One of the things I didn't get a chance to cover because I was going to cover it and then I got distracted with people asking about how much time we had left on the webinar. I was going to talk about the 6 dynamics of an unconscious response. Here's the 6 things you need to understand if you want to tap into the full power of your nervous system to manifest the things you want and reprogram your subconscious mind. A, the unconscious mind always answers first. The first thing that pops into your head, no matter how illogical, irrelevant, or just bizarre the answer is always the right answer, right? The fact that the conscious mind doesn't understand why it's the right answer doesn't make it the wrong answer. The first thing that pops up when you ask the unconscious mind is the right answer. The second is it always answers honestly. That answer that you get from the unconscious mind will be the truth as your unconscious mind perceives it. Okay? It'll always feel, always answers first, always answers honestly. It will always feel like you're making it up. The part of you that controls your heartbeat, your blood pressure, your fantasies, your daydreams, your fears, your phobias, your desires is also the part that makes things up. So it will have a similar feeling to it. It will have a similar quality to it. That doesn't make it false or not useful. Okay, so the unconscious mind always answers first. It always answers honestly. It always feels like you're making it up. You always have an urge to edit what just came up. It's never loud and it's never linear. Okay, anytime you catch yourself wanting to edit the first thing that pops up into your head in any way, shape, or form, that's your conscious mind trying to control something it does not understand. Stop doing that. Go with the information you were given and trust it. Going back to what Jake was saying, having trouble seeing colors, a lot of times you won't see the colors, but a color name will pop into your head. That's good enough. As long as it comes up first, it's right. Okay? So that's the 6 dynamics of an unconscious response. It's absolutely critical for those of you who are going to spend an extended amount of time in Planet David. If you really, really want the power that comes from these technologies, you must make these 6 dynamics part of your everyday life, part of your everyday practice, because it will guide you like nothing else will. I have never found these 6 dynamics to be wrong. And that's with a lot of people. Okay. So that being said, okay, so yeah, Katya, just reach out to Mia and we'll go ahead and get that cleared up for you. Okay. It's not a problem. We know about it now, so we'll take care of it. Okay. Or we'll help you with it. Right. Nick is saying a thought came into my mind saying I'll never attract my soulmate because I'm totally blind. So what should I do with this really negative thought? Point to where you feel it, reach out and touch it, put a magic frame around it, blacken out the image, write the lessons and the messages across that screen. So you can keep the lessons and let everything else go, shrink it down, move it over the top of your head, all the way back behind the horizon. Let me tell you something. Being blind is not an impediment to finding your soulmate at all. Right? But if it's a belief that we have, it's the belief that holds us back, not the reality of it. And you have complete control over that, Nick. 100%. Shakur is asking, is this put the image on a frame better or more effective than spinning technique? Usually, you need to do the image technique for a lot of the spinning techniques. The frame technique is what we call a specific negativity clearing exercise. And what that means is many times when your brain creates a program for something, or it has a certain type of experience, it looks at what happened and the pain that was caused by that experience, and it decides that it's too dangerous for you to have those feelings anymore. And so the fastest way for it to stop you from ever doing that again is to make it impossible for you to do it. So it attaches a safety lesson, a little rider to that memory or that behavior, so that whenever you try to do it, you feel pain or you feel fear or you just can't go any further beyond it. The magic frame technique is specifically designed to go in and remove that and put it in a place where it's useful so that your body will let the spinning technique actually work. So they're often always done together. The spinning technique can work dramatically well by itself. In fact, it does. In fact, we did it for years like that. But what we discovered is that in certain cases, they would spin something and it would either completely go away and then come back a little bit, or it would go from a 9 to an 8, an 8 to a 7 to a 6, and get a hit to about, and then it would hit like about a 1 or 2, and then it wouldn't respond anymore until you went in and you pulled out the safety lessons and it would completely go away. So in the transformational triad, we have the magic frame as the apex, and then energy spinning, and then color breathing, and you just cycle between them until you get to zero. Um, Spinning for physical pain is amazing. I've done it. Spinning for emotional pain is just as amazing. As far as the nervous system is concerned, at the level you're operating at, it's just data that the information that the nervous system is processing. It makes no distinction between physical and emotional pain, or pleasure for that matter. In fact, if you look at some of my more controversial videos where I'm teaching erotic hypnosis, I actually use spinning to amplify people's pleasure, which is one of the most powerful ways, by the way, to get yourself into a supercharged state for manifesting. You can use that spinning technique to amplify any positive feeling that you've got. And once that energy is engaged, now you go do your affirmations, your manifestation drills, whatever it is you're going to do, and you're going to find that everything works faster and works better. Okay. Shirley says, the baby will not wait. My apologies. I really appreciate what you. Well, go take care of that baby, Shirley. Jeez. Thank you for hanging. Appreciate you. So, Dave, where would this come in when trying to generate your own physical energy? Point to where you feel it, turn it into a color, take the energy out, notice the direction it's spinning, play with the direction it's spinning until you find the one that gives you more energy or the kind of energy that you want to have, and then spin it faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. And when it reaches a speed or it takes on a life zone, then you put it back in, let the energy hit, go do your run. Um, 5918 is asking, how do you embody a certain energy or identity? I can do it in the meditation, but I get distracted later. In Killer Influence, we have specific drills for doing exactly that. What you have to do is you have to step into the state that you want, and you have to stack it like 2 or 3 times, 4 times, 6 times, however many times. And then once you have it, you open your eyes and you just stand in that state and dissolve into it. Then you step out of it, and you step back into it. You step out of it, and you step back into it. You step out of it, you step back into it. You keep doing that until you have a very, very well-defined trigger for going from present state to desired state and back again. Then once you go into that state and it's nice and compounded, now you move around the room only at the rate and speed that you can maintain that state. When you feel the state starting to drift or starting to get distracted, you go back to your spot, you recharge, you do it again. And the idea is you learn to stay in that state for longer and longer and longer periods of time. And that's how you do it. Okay. Most people can't do like Master and Commander or Open Heart Trust Trigger or Rockstar Metaframe and have it last an hour right off the bat. They usually can do 5, 10, 15 minutes increments, and then it gradually gets more developed. All right. Um, you guys ready to move on, or do you have more questions? I'll take questions all day long if you guys want. Okay. All right. In that case,
let's get so you guys got your lists, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen now. Now this is your image cycling worksheet. So here's how this works. Insert. It's probably better if I use a table. All right. So you're going to have manifestation one, man two, man three. Now, before you start writing down or copying, before you start copying what I'm showing you, let me explain what this is. Okay. So actually, let me do this. I should have created a worksheet for this, but I didn't have time. All right. So the first thing is your manifestation. So look at your list and type out the thing and look at the thing you want. So maybe it's well, type in the chat. What just type in the one of the things on your list that you want. We'll work through it. Just type it in the list. You guys gonna do this or what? Type in the chat one of the things you want to manifest. Porsche 911, perfect. Did I even spell that right? Nope, of course not. Porsche 911. All right, so the first thing I want to manifest is a Porsche. So I want to stop for a moment. I want to imagine what it's like driving my Porsche. I want to make that as juicy and powerful as I can. And then I'm going to ask myself the question, and then what? So in phase one, my phase one matches my manifestation, right? I'm driving my Porsche. But then I ask myself, well, then what do I want? Once I get my Porsche, what am I going to do? Maybe I will drive across the country, right? So I see myself in my Porsche driving across the country, having the best time, showing off my wheels to everybody, right? Impressing the ladies, whatever it is, or impressing the men or whatever, right? Okay, so I've got my Porsche 911. I'm driving across the country. Then what am I going to do, right? Then maybe I will move to California, right? So let's look at what we've got here because this is what makes image cycling so amazingly cool. My primary manifestation that I want is the Porsche 911. Once I have my Porsche 911, I'm going to drive across the country. It's going to be a road trip, the best road trip ever, right? And then I'm going to maybe move to California or move to a state that I like that I drove to in my Porsche, right? So what's happened is I have my primary manifestation and then something that happens as a result of that manifestation and then something else that happens as a result of that manifestation. So what's happening now is I don't have one manifestation that I'm working with. I'm working with three. And so I'm going to spend 5 minutes, oops, 5 minute meditation. Actually, we'll say it this way. We're going to do a 5 minute mental movie of having it. Then I'm going to do a 5 minute mental movie of driving in it across country. Then I'm going to do a 5-minute mental movie of moving to California. Right? So this is where the people who have trouble with this are the ones who don't do this part. They just list what they want. So 15 minutes for the first thing on my list. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all those feelings of moving to California in my Porsche, and I'm going to compress it all down into a symbol. That symbol can be an ideogram, a geometric figure, a keyword, or a phrase. And that ideogram or geometric figure or keyword represents all of this, and primarily this one. The reason is because this one includes this one, which includes this one. So by focusing past what I want, this becomes presupposed at the unconscious level. Just clear this off for you guys. We're going to do 2 or 3 more really quickly, just so you know how to set up your list. Because that's, again, where the magic is for this. So Beat is asking for a super stable, well-paying job. Right? So I imagine myself in that super simple, well-paying job. I create what? A 5-minute movie of having it. Then what? Well, I have my well-paying job. What am I going to do? I'm going to take a vacation. Right? What am I going to do then? I'm going to make a 5-minute movie of having it. Okay, so I got my well-paying job. I got my best vacation ever. Then what? I'm going to buy a new house. Then what do? I make a 5-minute movie, mental movie of having it. And I run those movies in my head over and over and over and over and over again. I take that feeling and I turn it into an ideogram, a geometric figure, keyword, or phrase that represents all of that. Okay? Wash, rinse, repeat. Carol says specific weight. Specific weight. What do? I create a mental movie of having it. Oops, that's the wrong. Five-minute mental movie of having it. But then I asked the question, ask Carol, okay, I got my weight. I look good naked. I look good in my bikini. My boyfriend or my husband, eyes pop every time I walk in the room. Now what? I'm going to take a vacation. Right? Right? And then what do? I make a mental movie of that. I make a mental movie if, again, if I were Carol, I imagine myself on the beach in my little bathing suit, and I'm getting all these admiring glances, all these jealous looks from everybody, right? I'm on my vacation. I look good. I feel good. Life is good. And just as a result of me losing weight, I feel confident. I feel strong. And everybody's just looking at me in the best way possible. Then what? Well, then maybe I will, again, I am extrapolating, become a model, right? So what do I do then? Exact same thing. I make a 5 minute mental movie of having it. I spend 5 minutes deeply imagining and having, seeing what I'd be seeing, hearing what I'd be hearing, smelling and tasting what I'd be smelling and tasting, and what it really feels like to have that. When that's done, I compress all of that down into an ideogram, a geometric figure, a keyword or phrase, some kind of symbol that represents all of it. And most specifically, the last one. Now, I'm making levels 2 and 3 up, but I'm basing it off of what you guys are supplying. Do you see the methodology that I'm giving you here? Okay. So what happens now is when it's time to cycle, the only thing you cycle is this. Only the symbols, only the word that represents all of this. So you do 1, then you do 2, then you do 3, and then you do 4, and you keep cycling with however many that you have. And the idea is you want to keep going faster and faster and faster, and you'll reach a point in your process where you can't even consciously track what you're seeing anymore, but you know something's happening. Just keep going. And the secret to this is you only do it as fast as you can for as long as you can that it feels good to you. When it becomes a chore or an effort or something that's not fun, stop. The secret to this is, again, you got to be as selfish as humanly possible for this to work for you. Okay. If you want a big screen TV, if you want 37 big screen TVs, but you only got room for one and everybody says you should only want one, fuck them. Cycle for 37 big screen TVs. If you want a candy apple red Porsche 911, right? And everybody says no, get a black one because the red ones are faster and they get pulled over for speeding tickets. Fuck them. Get that cherry red 911 Porsche. Fuck them. This is the most selfish, wonderful practice that works better than anything else that you can do. Okay. The biggest challenge that people have with this, besides the priming part, which I just walked you through, is finding enough things to want selfishly. The more selfish you are with this, the more powerfully it works. Okay. Now, when you get your hidden laws of attraction package and you look at the core training, you'll see me taking groups of people, and they'll make a list of 5 to 10 things on their image cycling list. I'll have them hold a bottle of water in their hand, and I'll have 2 bottles actually. You have one bottle, both sealed bottles of water. One will be marked control, one will be marked experiment. They'll take the control, they'll put it under the chair. They'll take the other bottle that's marked experiment, they'll hold it in their left hand while they're doing the image cycling practice for about 5 to 10 minutes. And what'll happen is after 5 to 10 minutes of image cycling, we'll take both bottles of water, we'll have them test one and then the other, and they will be different. Okay. How many of you have done Hidden Laws of Attraction with me? I think Lottie's done Unleash the Magic or something, and we did the water thing. You'll get that training in your package. So you'll be actually be able to prove it to yourself right then and there. Okay. All right. So again, if you want to learn the full training on this, go ahead and grab your packages now. Go to David, go to this link. Oop, that's not it. Mia, if you can repost the links for people, that would be helpful. And I will give you guys one last call for this. All right. So again, the whole program is the Hidden Laws of Attraction Home Study course, valued at $1,997. You're also going to get the Vibrational Influence Home Study course, valued at $2,497. You'll get the Vibrational Healing Home Study course. You get the Secrets of Personality Transformation, Hidden Laws Soulmate Secrets Masterclass, the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Practice Trial Group, as well as the Attraction Mastery 4-day video intensive, as well as the 3-day Renegade Reframing virtual training, instant or speed conversational belief change. It is one of the most powerful packages that we sell. It will completely change your life. Okay. If you are on the fence, go ahead and go to nlppower.com/HLOA. Remember that the fast action bonuses go away when I log off the webinar. So if you've been on the fence and any of the fast action bonuses are appealing to you, when would now be a really good time to take that action you promised me you were going to take and level up? Okay. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. If you would, after you click your links, go ahead and type in your top 2 takeaways from today's training. What are the big things that you took away that are going to make the difference for you? I'd actually be very curious to find out what that is. Bueller? Anybody? Hang on, I'm signing up. Okay, Carol, I'll hang on. Susan Thomas says, "You are awesome and I am magical." Yes, you are, Susan. Actually, at the risk of getting a little weepy, um, to be honest, in my time on this planet, especially in this iteration of me, I've looked into the hearts and minds of literally tens of thousands of people in one form or another. And every time I do, I see the same thing. A little child that just wants to be loved, accepted, terrified of being alone. And I see the magic that's in each and every one of you. And I often tell my students, if you could see yourselves the way I do, it's truly breathtaking. And you believe in miracles really quickly. So the Daily says priming yourself first before manifesting is huge. Right? You have to be in a positive state tonight.
So you might hear my personal head being taken away as well.
Hi. Your course says clear your stuff often, if not daily, make it a daily practice. Feelings over words, engaging. Very good. Good. You guys are paying attention. That makes me happy. Makes me very happy. All right. Well, that's about all we got time for. Understanding the creation of a sigil. Very good. Excellent. Go ahead and click those links. I'll see you on the other side. The words of the immortal Carol Burnett. I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh or sing a song. Seems we just got started, and before you know it, comes the time we have to say so long. Good night, my friends. I love you all. Click those links, manifest the life you want, and let's rock